Welcome back. You're watching Prime Property. It's that time on the show where we answer viewer queries on Property Doctor. This time we got PropTiger's Prashan Agarwal to our studios. Our first query of the day is from Subhash Arora. He writes, I'm looking at investing in either Bhiwadi or Neem Rana. This will be purely for investment purposes. I can hold on for 2 to 5 years to the property. I'm looking for a 2 BHK with a budget of 30 lakh rupees. I request you to suggest good options in both the areas. Also, from the development side, which area is expected to grow better over the next 5 to 10 years? Could you also please share data related to inventory supply in the two cities? Prasant, what's your view on both Bhiwadi and Neem Rana?
Dear Shubhas, thanks for the question. Both Bhiwadi and Neem Rana are industrial towns, and they've seen good growth over the last few years. Of course, Neem Rana is on the main NH8 as well as the DMIC corridor. It's part of that, so that will drive the growth in that region. When you look at Bhiwadi, connectivity plays to an advantage because it is close to Gurgaon and Manesar and the KMP expressway as well. And of course, a lot of commercial developments that we have seen in Bhiwadi over the last few years with Maruti, Honda, all of them having their development plans there. So my suggestion would be that you look at projects in Bhiwadi and Neem Rana. When you look at some data, Neem Rana has a supply of about 4,000 units with the inventory overhang of 12 months, whereas Bhiwadi has a supply of around 39,000 units with the inventory overhang of close to 35 months. On that data point, Neem Rana looks a little attractive as compared to Bhiwadi. Projects to look at in Neem Rana, you can get a 2 BHK in Avalon Ridgeview, which would be around 1150 square feet at the rate of 2650 per square feet, which would be starting at 30.5 lakhs. In Bhiwadi, two good projects to look at would be MBL Palms and the Avalon Regal Court. MBL Palms 2 BHK 881 square feet would be starting at 23.8 lakhs, and a 2 BHK in Avalon Regal Court 1150 square feet will start at about 31.9 lakhs.
Well, I hope that helps you out, Subhash. On to our next query is from Gaurav Monga. He writes, I'm looking for a 3 BHK in Gurgaon with a possession time of 3 to 4 years and a budget of 80 to 85 lakh rupees. The project is for end use. Please advise some projects by good builders. I would not be keen to invest in projects in New Gurgaon. Kindly propose projects in and around Gurgaon only. It would be great if you could also propose some good finance schemes. Prasan, what's your advice? Is the budget on the lower side for Gurgaon?
Hi Gaurav, thanks for the question. Currently at a budget of 80 to 85 lakhs and a possession time frame of 3 to 4 years, unfortunately there would be no options in Gurgaon. What I would suggest is, if you are open to looking at a 2 BHK option, then you can look at the Dwarka Expressway, 2 BHK in CHD Golf Avenue, which was in sector 107 Gurgaon. 1183 square feet would cost you about 79.3 lakhs, and a 2 BHK in Agrante Beethoven 8, which is around 1300 square feet, would cost you around 77.4 lakhs, and that comes with a attractive pricing payment scheme where you have to pay no EMI till possession. Both these projects are on the Dwarka Expressway. Other option, if you are keen on 3 BHK, then you can look at Sohna, which is around 16 kilometers from the Sohna road currently, from Vatika city on the Sohna road. And there are a lot of infrastructure developments are taking place, and a lot of upcoming projects from developers like CHD, Raheja and Eldeco would be available below 80 lakhs to invest in that region.
Gaurav, I hope those suggestions work out for you. Our next query is from Ripple Srivastava. I'm dividing it into two parts. It's a longish one. Ripple's first part of the query is, I want your views on Gomti Nagar extension in Lucknow. Is it a good area to invest? I'm looking purely from investment perspective, and my time horizon is 7 to 8 years. Can you suggest some good projects in the area? Want your views specifically about Omax Residency 2 and 3. Budget not to exceed 60 lakh rupees. Prasant, call it a coincidence, but we did do a special on Lucknow in this episode itself. But anyway, what's your advice to Ripple?
Hi Ripple, Gomti Nagar extension is a very prominent location right on the main Amar Shahid path, and is about 10 kilometers from the Lucknow airport. Recently, the Lucknow Development Authority has announced around 84 crores for the development of infrastructure facilities and other facilities like electricity, road, sewerage and water for Gomti Nagar extension, which shows the commitment of the government towards this area. So I definitely recommend that you go ahead and invest in this location. Both Omax Residency 2 and 3 are good projects from the Omax group. Omax Residency 2 is currently spread over around 17.5 acres, whereas the Residency 3 is spread over 4.5 acres. Both the projects are sold out, and thus would recommend you to buy these projects from the resale market.
And Ripul's second query is for the Gurgaon market. He writes, I'm looking for a project where I can get possession over the next 2 to 3 years. I'm looking for end use. My budget is maximum 1 to 1.25 crore rupees. The builder should be reputed. Prashan, what are your suggestions?
So, sure, Ripul, coming to your question on Gurgaon, since your primary goal is for end use in 2 to 3 years, would recommend you to look at the new Gurgaon area. New Gurgaon has a good road infrastructure already in place, and would see a lot of social infrastructure developed over the next 2 to 3 years. Given that you have a budget of 1 to 1.25 crores, couple of projects that you can look at would be 3-bedroom in DLF Regal Gardens, 1693 square foot, which would cost you about 1.05 crore. This is in sector 90. And then 3 BHK in Greenopolis from Oris Developers, which would be 1910 square feet 3-bedroom, about 1.2 crores. This is available in a PLP plan, which is the possession link plan, where you have to pay 35% within 6 months, 30% once the superstructure is completed, and the remaining 35% on possession. So these would be 2 projects that I would recommend. Also, New Gurgaon, if you look at the current stats for New Gurgaon, currently there is a supply of around 32,000 units and an inventory overhang of just 5 months, which is very healthy for investment.
Well, Ripul, I hope you're satisfied with both of those answers. Our next query is a tweet coming in from Nirav Bathlani. He says, please suggest projects in Bandra in Bombay for maximum 1.5 crore rupees. Would not mind a 1 BHK, can be old or new construction. Prashan, what's your advice?
Hi Nirav, the minimum budget for a 1 BHK in Bandra would be upwards of 2.25 crores. Thus, there would be no options which would be available below the budget that you mentioned. I would suggest that you look at 1 BHK in the resale market in Kalina or Santa Cruz.
Nirav, that's the advice coming in for you from PropTiger. Our next query is from Vinod. He writes, my budget including a home loan is 55 lakh rupees. Please suggest projects in Bangalore keeping a 5-year investment horizon in mind. This will be for investment and not end use. What do you think of North Bangalore? Prashan, over to you.
Thanks Vinod for the question. I think North Bangalore has been a hub of commercial activity, and we see a lot of development there. Manyata Tech Park already has more than 1 lakh IT professionals working there, and there are more projects coming up like the KIA DB Park and the Devnahalli Business Park. Thus, I think it's a very good potential for real estate investment in North Bangalore. Couple of areas to look at would be Thani Sandra Road and Devnahalli. Projects to consider would be Niku Homes by Bhartiya Developers and Ozone Urbana. The current prices in both these areas hover between 3,500 to 4,500 rupees a square feet.
Our next query is from a K. Janbe, who writes, I want to buy my parents a house or an apartment on the ground floor in Ahmedabad. I already have a home loan for a property and I'm not eligible for another loan. Kindly suggest projects for maximum 25 lakh rupees. It should be ready to move in by mid-2015. Prashan, what's your advice?
Hi Janve, a couple of properties in Ahmedabad which would fit your budget would be Adani Shantigram Angan, which is located near the Vaishno Devi Circle on the SG Highway. A 2 BHK there, about 818 square feet, would cost you 22.5 lakhs. And a 1-bedroom in Bakeri Swarit Phase 2, which is located in Vejalpur, that would cost you about 24 lakhs for a 1 BHK, which is 640 square feet.
Well, that's all the time we have for Property Doctor this week. Do send us your property queries, feedback and experiences with builders you may want to share with us. Our email address is primeproperty@network18online.com. You can also tweet me. With that, we're going to have to say goodbye. We're completely out of time. See you same time next week.